वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ एनजे वेल्थ। मैं दिव्येश कक्कड़ आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं आज के इस सैटरडे स्कूल प्रोग्राम में। आज के हमारे जो स्पीकर हैं वो आशीष सोमैया जी हैं। सो आशीष जी का, वैसे तो आशीष जी को किसी परिचय का ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट एज अ पार्ट ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस मैं एक उनका ब्रीफ दे देता हूँ। तो आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो है स्टे इन प्ले एसआईपी, एंड इट इज एड्रेस्ड बाय आशीष जी। सो ही इज चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर एट वाइट ओक कैपिटल म्यूचुअल फंड. He is responsible for strategizing, growing, managing the operations at White Oak Capital Asset Management Limited. He has over 20 years of experience in business strategy management, process driven sales and distribution, product development, and marketing of investment offerings. He has been engaged with India's private sector asset management industry for pretty much its entire growth trajectory post 1998. Prior to White Oak Capital AMC, he served for nearly 8 years as managing director and CEO of Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company. Under him, the assets grew from 1,300 crores to 42,000 crores. Motilal Oswal was also awarded uh, Brand of the Year at the CNBC India Business Leadership Award in 2018. Prior to Motilal Oswal, he was heading sales and distribution of ICICI Prudential AMC. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Polymer Science from Pune University and a Master's in Management Studies in Finance from NMIMS Mumbai University. Today, being 4th of March, also is his birthday. So, on behalf of all of us, I wish him a very happy birthday and wishing him loads of happiness, wealth, and uh, wealth. So, without taking much time, I welcome Ashish sir for carrying forward today's presentation.
So, Divesh bhai, thank you very much for wishing me on my birthday and giving me an opportunity to speak to आपके सारे जो निवेशक हैं और हमारे एनजे फैमिली के जो पार्टनर्स हैं, उन सभी के साथ बात करने का आज मुझे मौका मिला। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दैट। और एनजे के जो हमारे निवेशक हैं और एनजे के जो हमारे पार्टनर्स हैं और एनजे की जो पूरी टीम है पूरे इंडिया में, ये सभी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादातर लोग सभी मेरे दोस्त हैं काफ़ी सालों से। और एनजे की टीम को जाके मिलना, एनजे की टीम के साथ काम करना, ये बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच मुझे फिर से इनवाइट करने के लिए। और आज का जैसे हमने प्रेजेंटेशन का टॉपिक भी हमारे जो टीम्स हैं इन्होंने मिलके प्रेजेंटेशन का टॉपिक भी बहुत अच्छा चुना है। क्योंकि आमतौर पे एनजे का अगर इंडस्ट्री में पिछले 25 साल का कंट्रीब्यूशन अगर हम देखेंगे पूरे एनजे परिवार का, तो इनकी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि जो मुझे समझ में आता है वो ये है कि एक आम निवेशक है, आम आदमी है, उसको एसआईपी के बारे में सिखाना, जो सही तरीका है इक्विटी में पार्टिसिपेट करने का और सही तरीका है वेल्थ क्रिएशन करने का। तो सभी हमारे निवेशक और चैनल पार्टनर जानते हैं कि इंडिया में एनजे जो है वो लार्जेस्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन है एनजे का एसआईपीज का इंडस्ट्री में। तो एनजे के पार्टनर्स, एनजे के इन्वेस्टर्स जो हैं, इन लोगों का एसआईपी में बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है, इंडस्ट्री में सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है और सबसे लंबा कंट्रीब्यूशन है। और मैं तो ये बोलूँगा कि इंडस्ट्री में इसको कल्चर बनाने का सबसे बड़ा योगदान जो है वो भी पूरे एनजे परिवार का है। और आपने जैसे बताया कि मैं भी इतने साल से इंडस्ट्री में हूँ, तो पहले आईसीआईसीआई में, फिर मोतीलाल ओसवाल में और अभी पिछले 2.5 साल से वाइट ओक में। तो मुझे भी सौभाग्य मिला है कि मैं एनजे के साथ जुड़ूं, and I can also speak to all the partners and the clients, and help to propagate the SIP culture. So thank you for the opportunity, especially on a big day for me. Thank you very much. और आज का जो टॉपिक जो चुना गया है जिसके वजह से मैंने एसआईपी के बारे में बोला, तो मुझे ऐसा बोला गया था कि पिछले इन द लास्ट 1.5 year लोगों के लिए इक्विटी मार्केट में एसआईपी करना, नई एसआईपी ऐड करना, पुरानी जो एसआईपी चल रही है, maintaining those existing SIPs, all these things has become challenging, because in last 1 to 1.5 year, almost no returns are made in the stock market. So what happens is that कि जब returns बनते हैं, when returns are being made, everybody is very happy to invest, but ultimately we want some results, we want some fruits out of our investment. एंड पिछला जो 1 डेढ़ साल है उसमें ज़्यादा रिटर्न बना नहीं है। तो एसआईपी तो सब करते हैं, लेकिन एसआईपी कंटिन्यू करना, अपनी जैसे अगर तनख्वाह बढ़ती है, कोई सोर्सेज ऑफ इनकम बढ़ते हैं, तो एसआईपी को बढ़ाना, ये सब चीज़ें जो है इसका मोटिवेशन कम हो जाता है। जब रिटर्न नहीं बनता है तो मोटिवेशन कम हो जाता है। तो इसीलिए आज एसआईपी के टॉपिक पे बात करने का डिस्कशन हुआ था। लेकिन एसआईपी के टॉपिक पे हम क्या बात करने वाले हैं वो आपको टाइटल देख के समझ में आ गया होगा कि फॉर एसआईपी वी हैव कम विद अ न्यू वर्डिंग दैट इज कॉल्ड स्टे इन प्ले। एंड अभी अभी एक इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का बहुत ही डिसअपॉइंटिंग क्रिकेट मैच खत्म हुआ है। तो ये स्टे इन प्ले, एसआईपी का फुल फॉर्म तो सिस्टमैटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान होता है, बट व्हाई आर वी सेइंग एसआईपी एज stay in play? Recently there was a very tough test match which got over because the pitch was very challenging. And अगर जितने भी लोग यहाँ पे स्पोर्ट्स फॉलो करते हैं, तो मैं 2 या 3 स्पोर्ट्स का उदाहरण दूंगा समझाने के लिए कि हमने एसआईपी को ऐसे मार्केट कंडीशन में, why we are saying full form of SIP in such market conditions, why the full form of SIP has to be stay in play, ये तो आपको समझ में आ ही गया होगा। सो लेट मी एक्सप्लेन फॉर पीपल हु हैवंट अंडरस्टूड। अगर आपको ये मैसेज समझ में आ जाता है दैट लास्ट 1.5 year market has been challenging, people who are doing SIPs, they are not being rewarded, they cannot see enough returns. And today when I am called to speak about SIP, I have deliberately changed the full form of SIP as stay in play. So people who follow sports, and in India cricket is religion, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, इंडिया में क्रिकेट इज रिलीजन एंड तेंदुलकर इज गॉड। सो इन इंडिया क्रिकेट इज रिलीजन, स्पोर्ट्स इज ए रिलीजन। तो जितने लोग स्पोर्ट्स फॉलो करते हैं उनको तो समझ में आ ही गया होगा, लेकिन मैं स्पोर्ट्स का भी एग्जाम्पल लूंगा, बॉलीवुड का भी एग्जाम्पल लूंगा, तो लोगों को समझ में आ जाएगा दैट व्हाई एसआईपी इन दिस मार्केट कंडीशन वी हैव कॉल्ड स्टे इन प्ले। सी व्हेन यू वॉच क्रिकेट, what happens, this indoor match which happened, in that match what is the key thing? When the pitch is tough, low scoring match, tough pitch, who will win? The people who spend maximum time on the pitch, they will win. जैसे कभी कभी टफ मैच होता है, पिच बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, 5वें दिन पे जिसकी भी बैटिंग है उसको आखिरी दिन पे 200 रन चाहिए, 5 विकेट हाथ में है, and they have to play the whole day. So in such condition, what does the commentator say? The commentator says कि अगर पूरा दिन खेलेगा तो जीत जाएगा. I'll give you another example. Let's say instead of a test match, it is a one-day match, 50 overs. First innings, the team batting first, they make only, it's a tough pitch, very bouncy pitch. The team batting first, they make 120 runs all out. Now the second team comes for batting. It is already a very tough pitch. One very good team has made only 120. When the second team comes for batting and their batting starts, तो जो एनालिस्ट होते हैं, कमेंटेटर होते हैं बड़े बड़े, what do they say? 50 ओवर खेलेगा तो जीत जाएगा. So in sports also it is taught that sometimes you win the match just by continuing, keep taking one run and stay on the pitch. That is the best way to win a tough match. Low scoring match, tough pitch, people are struggling to make runs, the ball is unexpectedly turning, sometime it is bouncing, sometime it is not bouncing, it is keeping low, sometime it is turning square and some delivery is coming straight. So tough pitch, low scoring match, like अपना स्टॉक मार्केट में भी ऐसा हाल है अभी, टफ पिच, लो स्कोरिंग मैच, कमेंटेटर क्या बोलता है, व्हाट डज द कमेंटेटर से, एक एक रन लेगा और 50 ओवर खेलेगा तो जीत जाएगा, right? Now a lot of people, they don't like cricket, so some of the youngsters nowadays, they play tennis also, right? And tennis also, recently you would have seen, US Open and all these Australian Open and so many, tournaments, French Open, Wimbledon. Every year, these four tournaments everybody follows. टेनिस इज द ओनली स्पोर्ट, अगर आप ध्यान से देखते हैं, टेनिस इज द ओनली स्पोर्ट जहां पे एक पर्टिकुलर स्टैटिस्टिक्स आता है. जितने लोग टेनिस देखते हैं उन्होंने नोटिस किया होगा दैट टेनिस इज द ओनली स्पोर्ट वेयर दे रिपोर्ट वन स्टैटिस्टिक on the score, on the TV. What is it called? It says unforced errors. Why in tennis they have to report unforced errors? Because टेनिस अगर किसी ने खेला है तो उसको समझ में आएगा that it's a very very tough sport. That court is very big. You have to keep running continuously, and to fathom the size of the court and the amount of power that is needed to hit the ball for 3-4 hours continuously, it's very very difficult. सो इन टेनिस, जैसे क्रिकेट में जब लो स्कोरिंग मैच होता है और टफ पिच होता है, क्रिकेट में क्या बोलते हैं, if you keep rotating the strike, if you keep taking singles, you keep the ball, you stay on the pitch, you will win. Same way in tennis also it is said that if you keep the ball in the court, you will win. इसका क्या मतलब है? Let the opponent hit the hard shots, let the opponent make the mistakes. As far as you are concerned, if you keep the ball in the court, you will win. Meaning, don't do anything, but don't make mistakes. Play the safe shots, keep the ball in the court. So in tennis also, it is said that keep the ball in the court, you will win. So this cricket example and this tennis example, what does it say? If you stay in play, if you remain on the pitch, if you keep the ball in the court, if you don't do anything aggressive, if you don't do anything outlandish, just by being there, taking 1-1 run, you will win. That is why in such kind of market conditions, when the pitch is tough, every ball is a different ball, the ball is turning, you just have to make sure you don't lose your wicket, you just have to make sure you stay in play. Abhi, lot of people, they are not following sports, correct? They might be following movies, they might be following Bollywood. Even in movies, lot of time, I can explain to you that even in movies, when there is a tough situation, lot of time you will find that the heroine is crying, right? The hero has disappeared, gone into jail, and the villain is creating financial problem, emotional problems, right? And let's say the protagonist, maybe hero, maybe heroine, if they are in deep trouble and you find them crying on the screen, invariably कोई बूढ़े बुजुर्ग आएंगे, invariably some wise person will come and say, बेटा धीरज रखो, वक्त हर जख्म को भर देता है. What does it mean? It means that you just stay in the game and you will get on the other side. Because for stock market also, like they explain in the movies or they explain in real life that वक्त हर जख्म को भर देता है, same way in stock market also, if you keep patience and if you spend time, there is no way you will not make returns. So keep taking singles, keep rotating the strike, keep the ball in the court, and remember, वक्त हर जख्म को भर देता है. I think these are the important lessons that you must always keep in mind. Now coming to our SIPs, and I'm going to share a presentation and I'm going to share some data with you as far as the stock market is concerned. But last thing I want to tell before I put up my presentation, lot of time I know that जितने भी हमारे NJ partners हैं, जितने भी हमारे निवेशक हैं, all our investors, they do SIPs for next 10 year, 15 year, they have some future goals why they are doing these SIPs. I want to just make you think of two situations I want you to think about. Let us say you are doing SIP for next 10 years. Now I want to make you think about two situations. Please listen carefully. You are starting SIP for next 10 years. Let us say the moment you start SIP, let us say you started your SIP in 2021. 2021 you started the SIP. Somewhere in April, May, June, July, after second wave, market went up a lot. In October, market made a peak. Then market started falling. Then it recovered. Now it is again falling. So 2021 से लेके 2023 में कुछ नहीं हुआ. So let us take the first example. You are doing SIP for 10 years. But after you start, first 3-4 years, nothing happens. Okay. And you are putting 10,000 every month, 5,000 every month. Jitna dala utka value sometime up, sometime down. But whatever money you are putting, end of the month, your NJ partner is sending you the statement. Statement is saying that 10,000 rupees per month, last 24 months you are putting. So you have put 2,40,000. Sometime the value is 2,20,000. Sometime the value is 2,60,000. Sometime the value is 1,90,000. You are thinking, kya ho raha hai? Should I continue or not continue? What is happening? So let us say that is the first example that you are putting SIP, you are committed for next 10 years, but first 2 years, 2.5 years is passed, nothing is happening. It's going up and down, no result. Second example, let us say again you put SIP for 10 years. You start putting SIP, first month you put 10,000, by the next month it is 10,500. Again you put 10,000, next month that 10,000 is again 10,500. In the first 2 years, you have put 2,40,000. Value of 2,40,000 has become 3.5 to 4 lakhs. Now, what I want to ask you is this. At the end of 10 years, आपका ज्यादा रिटर्न फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल में बनेगा या सेकंड एग्जाम्पल में बनेगा? At the end of 10 years, you will make more return in the SIP, which goes nowhere in the first 2-3 years, or you will make more return in the SIP, which just start going up in the first 2-3 years. What do you think? Just think of this logically. I have a lot of experience of last 24 years. I'll repeat this question for you once more and I will answer myself. The first case is you started for 10 years. But you started SIP for 10 years. But the 10 years is not in, मतलब अब तक तो 10 year हुआ नहीं है. But when you start your journey for 10 years, but you will find that first 2-3 years, you're keeping on putting money, sometimes slightly up, sometimes down, going nowhere. Second example, let us say you start putting money, your journey is for 10 years. The moment you put money, it immediately starts going up. You get very excited. You feel, wow, I'm in the right place. You are very motivated. Now, what I'm asking again, repeating the question, when 10 years are over, you will make more money in the first SIP or you will make more money in the second SIP? Let me tell you one thing. The first SIP, which is going nowhere for the first 2-3 years, it will make you feel demotivated. It will make you doubt yourself. It will make you doubt your advisor also. And many times you will think, let me stop. Let me remove this. This is nonsense. It is not working. But let me tell you, at the end of 10 years, the first SIP will have a much higher return than the second SIP. You know what is the reason? The reason is because you are not concerned with what is the return in the first 2-3 years. You are concerned what is the return at the end of 10 years. Correct? Always the SIP, which helps you to keep on investing at lower and lower level for the first 3-4 years, and market goes up after you have put lot of money, that will always reward you more than the second SIP. Because in the second SIP, what will happen? Again, your journey is for 10 years. But if market starts going up the moment you put your money, it means that your average of acquisition of units, the average cost is high. It means that later on, it is going to give you less appreciation. So always remember that if you are investing for 10 years, first 3 to 4 years, if the SIP does not give you results, you will feel unhappy, you will feel demotivated, you might feel frustrated, you might think I should stop this. But let me assure you, the SIP which starts slow and frustrates you, at the end of 10 years, that is going to give more return than the SIP which starts as if, wow, this is going great. because the SIPs which start with very high returns in the early part means that on lesser corpus, you already got more returns. So on your total corpus, the average will go down. Whereas the SIP which starts with lower returns means that bulk of your corpus is getting invested before the returns come, means you are going to get more returns on the higher amount of corpus. So keep these basic things in mind. What have I said? Let me recap before I start the presentation. Most important thing, stay in play. What is the meaning of stay in play? Whether it is cricket or whether it is tennis, sometimes if it is a tough match, you can win just by batting full overs, rotating the strike, not losing your wicket. Or if it is tennis, you win just by keeping the ball in the court, let the others make the mistakes. Same way, like they say in the movies, वक्त हर जख्म को भर देता है. So just remain on the pitch. And the second thing which I explained to you, which you can understand, that if you are doing SIP for 10 years, the SIP which gives no return in the first 3-4 years means bulk of your money is getting invested at lower value, and then the market goes up. It will always give you higher return than the SIP where the return starts coming immediately, because you are starting to get return immediately on the lower corpus. So when your corpus gets fully invested, on an average, you are going to get lesser returns. So there is nothing wrong. In fact, you should be happy if you started an SIP and it has started with lesser performance. Quickly deploy all your corpus, and then if the market goes up, you are going to benefit much more by an SIP which performs better in the back-ended part of your investment tenure, right? So this is what I wanted to share with you. Now let me also very quickly tell you that why in the last 12 to 18 months we are finding a scenario that stock markets are not rewarding investors. In between, we have seen sometime market goes up, sometime Nifty makes new highs, but you find that okay, even if Nifty is going up, your mutual funds are not giving you very, very high performance. What is the reason for this? Let me just quickly share my screen, and I'll put up a presentation for your attention. So yeah, Divesh bhai, can you see the presentation? Can anybody confirm to me?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. So this is the movement of the index for last 1.5 year, correct? This is the reason why everybody is thinking that we are not getting the results. So if you see, in October 2021, Nifty made a new high, approximately 18,500, where I put the red marker. After that, at the lowest point, somewhere in May, June 2022, we went to 15,200. Then again in November, December 2022, we went to 18,900. Now again we have fallen and we are close to 17,000. So क्या हुआ है? What has happened is that, I'll give you a simple example. If I tell you what is the opposite of love, right? And if there are, say, 5,000 people on the call, I can tell you that 5,000 people will immediately think that opposite of love is hate. Let me tell you, that is not the right answer. लव का ऑपोजिट हेट नहीं होता है, लव का ऑपोजिट होता है इंडिफरेंस. लव इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशन एंड हेट इज ऑल्सो ए वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशन. तो लव का हेट और हेट का लव होते रहता है, बट लव का ऑपोजिट होता है इनडिफरेंस. इनडिफरेंस का क्या मतलब है कि आपको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है उससे. तो क्या होता है कि स्टॉक मार्केट में भी ऐसा ही कुछ है. पीपल आर वेरी एक्साइटेड in the stock market when market goes up, and people may not be excited, maybe anxious, but at least people are very interested even if the market goes down. When the market is going up, some people are highly motivated. When the market is going down, some people might be fearful or some people might be motivated to put more money, but people are interested in the stock market as long as it is going up or it is going down. पिछले 1.5 साल में क्या हुआ है, जिसको if I have to say in Hindi, I will say थका देने वाला market है, because पिछले in the last 1.5 year what has happened is market is going nowhere. So, this was the all-time high of 18,500. Again, all-time high 18,900. In between, for more than 1 year, it went nowhere. After this all-time high, again we are started to go down. So, lot of up and down. Basically, no result. It's like stock market is on a treadmill. You come to market 9 o'clock, 9:15 it opens, 3:30 it closes. पूरा दिन निकल जाता है. Nothing has changed. But also, please keep in mind that in the period when the market, a lot of time people think in Nifty to new high bana raha hai, hamara paisa nahi ban raha hai, right? So what you should keep in mind is that when Nifty from October 2021 to November 2022, when Nifty has made this new high, तो ये देखिए निफ्टी में एक मामूली सा 2% का some 2% high in Nifty. But when Nifty has made new highs, small cap index negative, mid cap index negative, broad market Nifty 500 almost zero, correct? So Nifty from one peak to another peak appreciated by almost 2%, but broad market Nifty 500 no change, Nifty mid cap, Nifty small cap negative. Second important thing, when the market has made new high, what has gone down? IT has gone down, pharma has gone down. So bulk of the sectors, and if you see financial, everything, no return. Overall Nifty, no return. Infra. So what has gone up actually? Metal, energy, oil and gas, this kind of. Bank has gone up, but in bank mainly PSU banks. FMCG has gone up, but only ITC, right? And auto, which was the worst performing sector of previous 5 years, but our auto is not a big part of the index. It's a very small part of the index. And last previous 5 years. So what you will see in this chart is that when Nifty has made new highs, the sectors which performed when Nifty was going up, those sectors have actually underperformed. And what has gone up because of the war, oil, metal, energy, commodities, these kind of things started to go up because of the war in Ukraine. Now, what happens is that in 2022, some funds have done very, very well. All credit to them. But the funds which have done well in 2022, they were doing very badly in the previous 5 years. So, of course, these funds which have done very well in 2022, they did very badly in the previous 5 years. And they must be appreciated for buying against the cycle, for buying cheap, for buying anti-consensus. But they cannot claim that they predicted the war. तो क्या होता है, कभी कभी बंद घड़ी भी दिन में 2 बार सही वक्त दिखा देती है, लेकिन कौन से 2 वक्त सही दिखाएगी वो पहले से आप फोरकास्ट नहीं कर सकते हो. सो सेम वे इफ यू सी इन द मार्केट ऑल्सो, ऐसा नहीं है कि देयर इज नो पार्ट ऑफ द मार्केट वेयर यू कैन से ये तो चलेगा ही नहीं. इन द मार्केट ऑल्सो समटाइम्स some things which are not in your portfolio, they might start working, but that doesn't mean that after they go up you start chasing them, because people who are owning all these oil, metal, energy, they cannot claim that they forecasted the war, right? So 2-3 things to keep in mind. When for 1.5 year Nifty went nowhere, at the highest point Nifty made a new high of 2%. When Nifty made a new high of 2%, still broad market zero return, small cap, mid cap negative return. The sectors which were the most favorable sectors, IT, pharma, etc. When Nifty is making new highs, the best performing sectors of the market, even if you see earnings wise, IT has done very, very well, but the share prices are down. And what has gone up in the market? Mainly oil, metal, commodity, these kind of things, and by small percentages, but largely because of the war. Now, if you look at Nifty itself, bulk of the return of Nifty has come from only the top 10 stocks. Most of the stocks, 60% of the Nifty stocks itself has given zero return or negative return, right? So within Nifty itself, the performance has been fairly narrow. So these are few things to keep in mind. The other thing which I explained to you that for most of 2022 अगर आप देखेंगे तो private sector banks में ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, barring some periods, no performance, right? So banks also, mainly it is PSU banks. IT has done badly, private sector banks have done badly, which is more than 40% of most of the funds portfolio is banking and IT. And because they are good sectors, they are fundamentally strong sectors. But what is the reason that banking and IT underperformed in 2022? And उससे फंड्स के मतलब आपको लगता है कि बाजार में कुछ हो रहा है लेकिन फंड्स के ऊपर नेगेटिव असर पड़ रहा है उसका. Because in 2022 more than 20 billion, 22 to 23 billion dollar of FI selling happened. And you'll be surprised to know out of 22 to 23 billion dollar FI selling, 19 billion was only in banks and IT. So what is the reason 19 billion only banks and IT? Because banks and IT companies, they are professionally managed. इसमें फ्री फ्लोट ज़्यादा है, प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट है और ये ग्रोथ ओरिएंटेड सेक्टर्स है, हाई गवर्नेंस भी है इसमें. तो ऑब्वियसली अगर बाहर का वातावरण खराब है जिसकी वजह से एफआईएस की सेलिंग हुई है तो दे विल सेल व्हाट दे ओन इन द पोर्टफोलियो. So outside, if you see, people will say IT is doing badly because of US market, etc., etc. Actually, if you see US market वगैरह का अब तक IT पे कोई असर पड़ा नहीं है. In reality, bulk of the selling is related to technicalities. It is mainly because of FII selling. And FII selling will obviously, they will sell what is there in the portfolio, which is mainly the banks and the IT companies. So a lot of the fall or a lot of the underperformance is for technical reasons. It is actually temporary in nature. And I don't think you should actually get very, very worried about it. But you know what is the most interesting part? The most interesting part is the valuation. क्योंकि क्या होता है कि अगर 1.5 साल तक मार्केट में in 1.5 year, if market goes nowhere, let me give you one very, very simple thing. See what this shows. I told you October 2021, see where Sensex was. Nifty was 18,400, Sensex was 59,000. उसके बाद मार्केट गिरने लगा. जून 2022, निफ्टी was at 15,200, Sensex was 53,000. Then you see January 23, which now we are seeing, again Sensex came back to 59,550. So October 2021 से लेके अभी तक Sensex का लेवल सेम है. और अगर आप पिछले 3 साल देखेंगे तो January 2020 बिफोर कोविड Sensex was at 40,000. तो प्री कोविड से लेके अभी तक का अगर आप चेंज देखेंगे तो आपको एक चीज दिखेगा that in the last 3 years Sensex is up by 46%. But the earnings of Sensex companies, Sensex की जो कंपनियां हैं, Sensex का दाम 46% बढ़ा है, but the earnings of Sensex companies has gone up by 72%. और अगर आप P मल्टीपल देखेंगे तो Sensex का P मल्टीपल 15% नीचे आ गया. करेक्ट. तो ये है पिछले 3 साल का. Now you forget last 3 years, and since I was talking last 18 months, there is no return. So see what has happened in last 18 months. Last 18 months, Sensex is at same level, return is 0. But the earnings of Sensex companies, Sensex की कंपनियों का profit जो है वो 26% बढ़ गया है. So P multiple of Sensex has gone down by almost 20%. अभी आप Sensex को छोड़ दीजिए, White Oak का Pioneer Equity या हमारा फ्लेक्सी कैप म्यूचुअल फंड आप देख लीजिए, उसका मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं. इन आवर फ्लेक्सी कैप म्यूचुअल फंड वी आर नॉट सीइंग पी मल्टीपल, वी आर सीइंग दिस समथिंग कॉल्ड प्राइस टू फ्री कैश फ्लो. तो हमारे पोर्टफोलियो का प्राइस टू फ्री कैश फ्लो अक्टूबर 2021 में 46 टाइम्स था. अभी प्राइस टू फ्री कैश फ्लो हो गया 32 टाइम्स. क्योंकि हम लोग ईपीएस नहीं देखते. देखिए ईपीएस, earning per share, is a accounting number. Earning per share is all this depreciation, amortization. There are many things because it is not a transparent number. So we only look at the free cash flow generated by the company. In October 2021, in our portfolio, price to free cash flow was 46 times. 31st January 2023, price to free cash flow 32 times. तो आप देखिए सेंसेक्स 20% चीपर हो गया. मैं अभी आपको इसका दूसरा एग्जांपल देता हूं. That in October 2021, if I told you that a packet of biscuits is 10 rupees and in 10 rupees there will be 5 biscuits. Okay. Now in January 2023, if I tell you that that packet of biscuit is 10 rupees, but instead of 5 biscuits, you will get 6 biscuits. तो वो एक तरीका है. 20% डिस्काउंट दे दिया मैंने आपको क्योंकि 10 रुपए में 5 बिस्किट मिल रहा था. Now 10 रुपया you will get 6 biscuits. So I given you 20% discount. But this 20% discount nobody understands. If I tell you that the 10 rupee packet which had 5 biscuits, I am going to charge you 8 rupees. So when 10 rupees का दाम जो है, when the price of 10 rupees is made 8 rupees, you will understand that I have given you 20% discount. But if I keep the price of the packet as 10 rupees and instead of 5 biscuit, I give you 6 biscuits, I have still given you 20% discount, but you will not realize it. So what is the point I am trying to make? That in last 1.5 year, when your SIP is giving you no return, you are keeping on investing, value is not changing. Please don't think that the value is not changing. In October 2021, if you were getting 5 biscuits, today you are actually getting 6 biscuits. And if the market continues to be like this, you might even get 7 biscuits for 10 rupees. So, for the long term of your SIP, what is happening right now is very, very good because you are keeping on going with your SIP and it is giving you more and more value because the earnings of the companies are improving. If you take our portfolio, not only earnings, the free cash flows of the companies are actually improving, but you are still getting it at the same price. So I think this is something which is very, very important that we have to not only continue with our SIP, more important thing, if we have the ability, we have to increase the SIP we are putting. Because पहले 10 रुपए में 5 बिस्किट मिल रहा था, अभी 10 रुपए में 6 बिस्किट मिलता है. If actually the value falls by 20%, if the price falls by 20%, everybody will understand. But in last 1.5 year, what has happened? The price did not fall 20%. Price is in the same range, but the value which is being derived has actually gone up. So these are few interesting things with the data that I wanted to share with you. I'll stop sharing now and I'll take a pause here because I've continued for more than half an hour. I'll pass back to Divesh bhai. You can take up if something I missed out which you want me to cover, then definitely please point out. And at the same time, if you think that we should take questions, I'm most happy to take the questions. दिवेश भाई आपका म्यूट है.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the insight that you have thrown in today's presentation कि stay in play. और आपने एक अच्छा एग्जांपल लिया कि भाई जैसे कि स्पोर्ट्स में या क्रिकेट में जब पिच चैलेंजिंग होती है तो जैसे अभी शायद इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्रंट में थोड़े से रिटर्न्स के चैलेंजेस है तो वन हैज़ टू स्टिक टू हिज इन्वेस्टमेंट, कंटिन्यू हिज एसआईपी. और इन्वेस्टमेंट में शायद बने रहना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है क्योंकि अगर आप बने रहेंगे तो जैसा आपने बताया कि भाई वक्त हर जख्म को भर देता है, आपने हिंदी पिक्चर का भी एग्जांपल दिया. सो आई थिंक इट इज़ अ वेरी राइट मैसेज फॉर ऑल द इम्पेशेंट इन्वेस्टर्स ऑफ आवर्स जिनको आज शायद थोड़ी सी तकलीफ है जब रिटर्न थोड़े से डाइल्यूट हुए हैं या रिटर्न अभी आ नहीं रहे हैं या कुछ लोग अभी भी नेगेटिव में हैं वो. और उसके सामने जब आज एफडी के रिटर्न्स थोड़े से लुक्रेटिव हो गए हैं तो लोग शायद अपने आप को रीअसेस कर रहे हैं कि कहीं हमने ये ना करके अगर वो किया रहता तो शायद बेहतर रहता. तो इसी सिचुएशन को आपने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया कि ये वक्त ऐसा है जहां बने रहना जरूरी है. अगर हमें हमारी इनिंग्स को डेवलप करना है या मैच जीतना है तो वन हैज़ टू कीप one has to stay grounded and keep doing the investment, keep continuing the investment. So to stay in play is more important at this time. कुछ क्वेश्चन सर अपने पास आए हैं तो सिंस अपने पास इस प्रेजेंटेशन में नए पुराने दोनों प्रकार के इन्वेस्टर्स हैं तो कुछ बेसिक क्वेश्चंस हैं कि भाई पहला क्वेश्चन तो ये है कि व्हाई वन शुड डू एसआईपी, वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन. उसी से रिलेटेड दूसरा क्वेश्चन है कि एसआईपी मैं कितने की करूं. तीसरा इसी से रिलेटेड बेसिक क्वेश्चन है कि कितने समय की करूं.
So let me share one basic literature and let's take up each of the questions. Main point क्या है कि SIP, दिवेश भाई, SIP is a solution to many problems, right? Now, as you can see on the screen, basically, right, first thing is that when जो mutual fund investing होता है, when people are investing in mutual funds, when people are investing in equity, one of their key concern, yeah, I don't have a lot of money. A lot of people have this thing in their mind that to invest in stock market or to start investing or to create wealth, you have to be rich. You need a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. Then how can I start investing? All these kind of doubts people have. So what is the interesting part? You can start SIP with 100 rupees, 500 rupees. In our funds, the minimum is 500 rupees, right? So you can start SIP with as little as 500 rupees. So what is the first thing? That you can start your wealth creation journey with as little as 500 rupees per month, right? So why to do SIP? Most important thing, you can start with the smallest possible amount, and you can get entry. Second, यहाँ पे आप third point देखिए, stock market keeps going up and down, correct? Now stock market keeps going up and down, so you don't know when to invest. But what happens with SIP? SIP is a solution for this also. Because you're investing every month, you're investing at every level. In fact, today's presentation, I think I was able to explain that last 18 months, when market has kept going up and down, why it is good for a SIP investor, because ultimately for a long-term investor, it is going to give more benefit if the market keeps going up and down. Then you see point number 2, it says optimize the investment, because the fact is that most of us get a monthly salary, and every month we have some expenses, correct? So after we meet our expenses, and once we control our expenses and once we are done with our expenses, we might be left with some surplus. So stock market, best way to invest in the stock market is to invest regularly without doing the timing. And in any case, most of us have a monthly income, so we can anyway invest monthly only. Most of us don't have lump sum money, but we have some small money available every month. So you can start small. You don't have to put lump sum. You can put small amount every month. And anyway, if you are going to invest in equity, that is the best way to invest, correct? So I think that कितने का SIP करना चाहिए, कितने लंबे के लिए करना चाहिए, मिनिमम 10 years के लिए करना चाहिए. It should be for your future goals. So SIP should be done for as long as you can save. लोग I don't know ऐसा सवाल क्यों पूछते हैं कि कितना SIP करना चाहिए, because how long do you do your PPF? How long do you do your recurring deposit? How long do you do your insurance or ULIP? So just like all these things are done perpetual for next 10, 15, 20 years, it is done for future, it is done for children's planning, it is done for retirement planning. Same way SIP has to be done for the future, and it has to be done whatever amount is possible. You have to do it every month. That is the best way to participate in equity, and it has to be done for as long a period as possible for the investors.
राइट सर. सो एज यू सेड, वेरी राइटली मेंशन्ड कि आपका जो SIP है वो गोल ओरिएंटेड होना चाहिए, एंड गोल के अनुसार आपकी नीड आएगी और नीड के अनुसार टेन्योर फिक्स हो जाएगा, तो आपके लिए इजी हो जाएगा अमाउंट एंड टेन्योर. तो यू कैन टेक हेल्प ऑफ योर एडवाइजर, ही कैन वेरी वेल गाइड यू इनटू दिस. दूसरा एक सर क्वेश्चन SIP में ये है कि भाई अभी तो मेरे SIP में रिटर्न नेगेटिव आ रहे हैं, तो व्हेन कैन आई एक्सपेक्ट कि मेरे SIP में रिटर्न जनरेट हो?
See, I think that 1 year from now, मुझे personally, if you ask me, in fact, I would repeat what I said, that most of our NJ partners and our investors are coming for 10 years plus. So in reality, तो अगर आपको patience है ना, तो you should not be worried about negative return at all. That is where I started my talk today. That if you are going to invest for 10 years or higher, so जो SIP पहले धीरे धीरे चलता है, and the SIP which does not reward you in the initial part, means maximum of your corpus get invested at a lower and lower level of the market, that is actually good for you. But ठीक है, the question is that right now it is showing negative. When do you expect it to come in positive? I personally think that instead of 2023, you should continue throughout 2023. Personally, if you ask me, second half of 2023 will be much better than first half of 2023. So it is quite likely that by the end of the year, it turns out positive. Even if not this year, by next year, 1 year from now, you are likely to see, if you see, let's say, middle of 2024 or end of 2024, you are going to see that last 3 years, whatever you have invested, let's say, lower and lower value, no change, you are putting 5,000, 10,000 in the next. So let's say you started in 2021, अभी तक आपका नेगेटिव दिख रहा है, तो 2024 का मिडिल आएगा, तब तक आपका 3 साल हो जाएगा, right? In 3 years, let us say you're putting 10,000. So you put 3,60,000. That 3,60,000 for 3 years, let us say it troubles you. जैसा अभी बता रहे हैं बीच में नेगेटिव जा रहा है, रिटर्न नहीं दिख रहा है. If you ask me, by the end of 2024, that value could be much higher than whatever 3,60,000 that you're seeing now. So if you really ask me, that value could be, if you put 3,60,000, that value could actually go more than 4 lakh, 4.5 lakh, or some such number. This I'm just giving example, assuming 10,000 per month SIP for accumulated for 3 years from 2021 to 2024. सो 2021 टू 2024 का एग्जांपल लेंगे तो जो ये साहब जो सवाल पूछ रहे हैं वैसा ही आएगा कि भाई बीच में नेगेटिव है, अभी भी नेगेटिव है. आई थिंक बाय द टाइम यू फिनिश 3 years ऑफ योर टेन्योर, you are going to see a fantastic upside. But let me tell you, if you are a 10-year long investor, you should hope कि पहले 5 साल कुछ नहीं हुआ. मुझे नहीं लगता है. I think that by next year you are going to get very good results. But if I am in your place and if I am a 10-year long investor, why I want result in the first 5-6 years? In the first 5-6 years, I want my money to go in at lower and lower level, and then suddenly the market actually rewards me. ठीक है, ऐसा होता नहीं है. I think that if you keep persisting from 2021 to 2024, first 3 years you keep investing, I think the moment 3 years are over, you are likely to see significant upside.
राइट सर. तो एज यू सेड कि अगर एक तेजी मंदी की साइकिल को आप क्रॉस करेंगे तो एसआईपी में रिटर्न्स आपको दिखने लगेंगे, और आइडियली तो आपको अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट होराइजन तक आप अपनी एसआईपी चलाएंगे, और उसमें जितने भी लोज आपको मिलेंगे उससे आपको शायद ज्यादा फायदा होंगे. वो वेरी राइट.
If you are a SIP investor and you are going to see cycle of teji mandi, when I start my SIP, I want mandi to continue. I don't want first teji and then mandi. I want first lots of mandi and then the teji should come. And please don't worry, you are not going to lose your money. This is how the market works.
सो द मैसेज हियर इज कि आप अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी में जितने ज़्यादा यूनिट एक्यूमुलेट करें उस पर फोकस होना चाहिए, रादर देन दी वैल्यू ऑफ योर इन्वेस्टमेंट शोइंग. जितने ज़्यादा आप यूनिट अपने इस जर्नी में एक्यूमुलेट करेंगे तो उतना आप शायद बेटर रिटर्न्स कमा पाएंगे एसआईपी में. आई थिंक आशीष भाई इज डिस्कनेक्टेड. जसविंदर जी.
Yeah, sorry, my line dropped. I'm here.
हाँ या राइट सर. फिर एक क्वेश्चन सर अपना टॉपअप के बारे में आया है कि सर ये एसआईपी टॉपअप में क्या फीचर है और कितने का टॉपअप करना चाहिए एंड हाउ इट इज यूजफुल इन द इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी.
Sure, let me just explain that. See, I'll just put up a slide here, just quickly. So, the question is that what is SIP top-up and how you should be doing it. See, Divesh bhai, is very simple. Like I mentioned, most of the people are earning a salary month on month, correct? But, if you see in reality, sometime by 5%, sometime 10%, sometime 15%, sometime you get promotion, sometime you're able to reduce your expense. आपने कुछ लोन रिपे कर दिया, आपका EMI खत्म हो गया. तो there are variety of reason whereby your income might increase, or even if your income doesn't increase, your expenses you might do some saving and expense might come down, correct? So normally what happens, let's say you put 10,000 rupee SIP. So normally what happened, 10,000 rupee SIP goes as 10,000 every month, correct? Right, it's marked here, say 10,000 rupee SIP, it will go as 10,000 rupees per month, correct? But if you're doing some things right in your life, then your income might keep increasing every year, or your expense might go down. So in a top up, let us say you give a top up of 10%. So what happens? In the first year, you're putting SIP of 10,000 per month. In the second year, you start putting SIP of 11,000 per month. In the third year, you start putting SIP of 12,000. So if you have given 1,000 rupee top up, then every year it will go up. Your SIP installment will automatically go up by 1,000. Now some people are thinking that I don't need to do this automatically top up. I can do it myself. But the reality is that people are not so disciplined. They don't end up reviewing their expenses and doing the top up. In fact, if you ask me, if you have done a top up, then you remember कि भाई next year से मेरे को और saving करने का या next year से मेरे को अपना income बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, correct? So I think a top up is a very very good thing for a discipline, very very good thing for a good habit to have. So what will happen is that instead of 10,000 which goes every month, like this 10,000 is just an example, it can be 500 rupees also, but let's say you're putting 500 rupees every month, or you're putting 10,000 every month. If you give a top up of 1,000, so what will happen is that 1,000 rupees more will go. So now let us say if you take a normal SIP, in 5 years you accumulated 6 lakh, in 10 years you accumulated 12 lakh. But if it is a top up SIP, so in 5 years what will happen? Every year 12,000 more is going to go, right? So automatically what you save goes up and the amount accumulated. So there is a very, very disproportionate effect. Market appreciation also comes, and you also keep increasing your investment amount based on either lower expenses or a higher income, right? So I think that top up is a very good thing for discipline, and top up is a very good thing to take benefit of higher returns on a higher invested amount. But most important, top up is for discipline, because every year your income should rise. Even if income shouldn't rise, you will still keep reviewing and rationalizing your expenses. So when your ability to save goes up, automatically the top up would actually kick in.
राइट सर, तो जैसे हर साल आपकी इनकम बढ़ती है तो आपकी सेविंग बढ़नी चाहिए, तो टॉप अप इज अ सॉल्यूशन फॉर दिस एंड इट इज अ डिसिप्लिन्ड अप्रोच. एक सर
Yes.
इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है, अपने एक इन्वेस्टर ने पूछा है कि सर कि भाई स्टॉक मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा, बट व्हाट आर द की फैक्टर्स व्हिच टेक इंडियन मार्केट हाई?
See, I think simple. I can just quickly, need to explain with one simple chart. So I'll just open the. Just pardon me for a moment. See, इसका आप बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड और बहुत लंबा जवाब भी दे सकते हैं. मतलब हम लोग आपको 10 मिनट तक इस पे बात कर सकते हैं that what are the factors which result in market going up. There are many factors, but if you want to understand basic in fundamental terms, then there is only one factor. And let me just allow to put up the screen here. See, you can see a chart here, right? You can see a chart here, and on this slide, focus on the chart which is on the top. नीचे वाले पे डेटा पे आप 2 मिनट के लिए ध्यान मत दीजिए, ऊपर के डेटा पे आप ध्यान दीजिए. And what does the data say? It says historical growth and returns. So when you say historical growth, first of all, let us understand what growth we are talking about. So what does this data actually show? That in India, you can see the slide, right?
Yeah.
So what you can see here, it shows that the nominal GDP growth, this is last 30 years data, chota mota nahi hai ye. This is last 30 years data. What does it show? That last 30 years in India, from FY93 till FY 2022, what it shows you is that in last 30 years, the GDP growth of our country is 12.4% compounded. अब ये GDP growth, normally what people hear is 5%, 6%, 7%. Let me clarify. This is nominal GDP growth, which means that real growth, मतलब इसमें क्या है कि 5-6% growth होगा, 5-6% inflation भी होगा. So last 30 years, 12.4% compounded is the GDP growth in India. In the same 30 years, when GDP growth is 12% compounded, Sensex में जो कंपनियां हैं उसका भी अर्निंग ग्रोथ है 12.2% कंपाउंडेड. और सेंसेक्स इटसेल्फ का जो वैल्यू है दैट हैज आल्सो गॉन अप बाय 12% कंपाउंडेड. So what is the first thing I would like to clarify on this question? That the biggest factor why the market would go up, biggest factor or single factor why market goes up is the fact that जो हम जिसको मार्केट बोलते हैं, जिसको हम इंडेक्स बोलते हैं, दैट इज अ मार्केट और अ इंडेक्स मेड अप ऑफ कंपनीज. और आप जब कंपनीज के शेयर खरीदते हैं तो आप क्या खरीदते हैं? आप कंपनीज का प्रॉफिट बनाने का कैपेसिटी, when you buy shares of companies, you are buying the earning potential of those companies, and the earning growth is directly related to growth in the economy and the population and the prosperity of the population. So simple thing, yes, market will go up, but market goes up because of two or three things. Most important thing, market goes up because of the earnings. Even before this question came, if I was talking about last 18 months, what did I say? Last 18 months, market has gone nowhere, but the earnings has gone up by more than 25%. In our portfolio, not only earnings, the free cash flow has gone up by more than 30%. So single biggest driver for stock market to go up is the earning growth and cash flow growth of companies. But earning growth and cash flow growth of companies is determined from the broader economic growth and the growth of various sectors of the economy. And the economic growth and growth of various sectors of the economy ultimately depends on the production in the economy, the population, productivity of the people, what is the breakup of the population, what is the per capita income, how much is the per capita income growing. All these things would factor in. Yes, sir.
Right, sir. Sir, most of the other questions are repetitive in nature. एक question sir taxation का आया है.
Yeah.
ये एक क्वेश्चन ये भी आया है कि when should I redeem my SIP? So obviously it will be a goal oriented one. So once you achieve your goal, maybe that is the right time to redeem your SIP, and there is no point in redeeming the
When
SIP
do you remove
anytime.
money from your ULIP? When do you remove money from your PPF? When do you remove money from your NPS? PPF से पैसा कब निकालते हैं, या आप अपनी लंबी चौड़ी चल रही है FD कब तोड़ते हैं? So these are the kind of things. It is meant for a goal. It is meant for long term. Just because of market going up and down, you're not supposed to withdraw. In fact, if you keep withdrawing because of market going up and down, then you're interfering with the process of creating wealth. वेल्थ क्रिएशन ऐसे ही होता है, थोड़ा ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे, ऊंच नीच वॉलेटिलिटी होती है. नीचे के लेवल में पैसा कंटिन्यूसली डालते रहो, डिमोटिवेट होकर पैसा निकालोगे तो वेल्थ क्रिएशन का प्रोसेस इंटरप्ट हो जाएगा.
राइट. तो टैक्सेशन पे एक क्वेश्चन था कि अगर मैं रिडीम करता हूं तो मुझे क्या SIP में टैक्सेशन आता है सर?
तो अगर आप इक्विटी का है तो ऑल द यूनिट्स विच हैव कंप्लीटेड 1 year plus, if it is a equity oriented scheme with which SIP has done, and let us say you end up withdrawing it, all the units where you finished more than 1 year, that will go as long term tax. Long term tax is 10 per capital gains. Long term capital gains tax is 10% plus surcharge. तो लगभग आई थिंक 13-14% टैक्स लगता है. और जो यूनिट्स पे अगर एक साल नहीं हुआ और फिर भी आपने निकाल दिया तो इट विल बी 15% शॉर्ट टर्म. सो डिपेंड करता है. I would say that generally nobody would withdraw from SIP in the short term, and people would have a longer term time perspective. So whenever you withdraw, as per the current taxation, it goes as long term capital gains, and long term capital gains for equity, the tax is 10% plus surcharge.
Right. One last question, though you have already answered it, and आपने बिस्किट के पैकेट का एग्जांपल से उसको समझाया भी है, पर आई थिंक और उसके लिए अप्रिसिएशन भी कुछ अपने इन्वेस्टर्स ने किया है कि इट हेल्प अस टू एब्जॉर्ब द थॉट वेरी क्लियरली. बट किसी एक सज्जन ने फिर भी पूछा है कि इज दिस द राइट टाइम टू इन्वेस्ट?
टाइमिंग, देखिए टाइमिंग पे ज़्यादा वो नहीं डालना चाहिए, बट बेसिक सिंपल चीज़ यही है कि ऑल्दो मार्केट इज गोइंग नोवेयर, इट इज़ बिकमिंग चीपर एंड चीपर, एंड आई वुड से दैट येस डेफिनेटली दिस इज अ गुड टाइम टू इन्वेस्ट. और कभी कभी ऐसा मौका आता है कि खाली सिप नहीं करना चाहिए, गल्प भी करना चाहिए. तो वैसा मौका अभी आ रहा है. अगर मार्केट ऐसा ही रहेगा वेयर द फंडामेंटल्स आर गुड, इंडेक्स इज ऑल्सो गोइंग नोवेयर, बट द कॉर्पोरेट परफॉर्मेंस एंड फंडामेंटल्स कीप इम्प्रूविंग, then why only sip? You can do lump sum also, like you are sipping, you can gulp also, correct? So definitely SIP continue करना चाहिए, and you must commit more and more because these are attractive levels. And don't keep a expectation of immediate result. Keep expectation of result at least over the next 3 years.
राइट सर. सो अभी और कोई मेजर क्वेश्चंस है नहीं सर. बाकी सब वी हैव कवर्ड एवरीथिंग.
Great.
So thank you so much sir for
Thank you. Thank you very much.
spending
Thank
the
you.
evening with us, and on your birthday evening. That shows your passion and commitment towards the towards your job and towards the
This is
industry.
the best way to spend my birthday by talking to investors. So thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
So on behalf of entire NJ team, we would like to thank you, and thanks to all the investors for taking time and joining us and listening to this presentation. Thanks to all partners for inviting your investors for this presentation. And once again, thank you very much, sir. And we would like to end up the session here. Thank you.
Thank you.